When it comes to college hockey, it doesn't get any better than this. From the Kohl Center on the campus of the University of Wisconsin in Madison, the hometown 5-2 Wisconsin Badgers play host to the third-ranked Fighting Sioux of North Dakota. Good evening and welcome to our telecast along with Rob Andringa. I'm Paul Brown. Wisconsin won the game 4-0 last night, Rob. Some people thought, hey, the Badgers didn't play that well.
No, they did play very well, but yet a lot of it had to do with what North Dakota did. North Dakota was outstanding. And let's take a look at the stats from last night, PB. And, of course, North Dakota edged in shots, but two areas that Wisconsin excelled in, blocking shots, and they also got a power play goal last night.
And that's the 6th game in 7 that they've scored on the power play. But I tell you what, the guy between the pipes, he was outstanding.
In big games, you need goaltending, and that's what we got from Shane Connolly last night. He was fantastic. It's probably by far and away his best game as a Badger last night. And a lot of it had to do with, he said he saw the puck, and a lot of it, too, he was able to get from point A to point B, get his shoulder squared, just like we saw in that shot against LaPointe. He never looked like he was out of place. He was in control, controlled his rebounds very well. I tell you, anytime you have a goaltender playing that well, it hurts in here. And let's hear what Coach Bill Howard has to say on his goaltender, Shane Connolly.
Well, you know, the first period, and we talked about it today, he wasn't real sharp. He even said he's a little nervous, pressure game, and we were fortunate in the first period. You know, they shot the puck wide like 2 or 3 times on great opportunities. And the second period, we as a team were better. He got better. In the third period, it was probably the best he's ever played. And it's because he was patient, stood up, waited for the puck to come to him. He had great positioning, great control. No second shots. We did a great job of blocking shots in front of him and helping him. But obviously, when you make 25 saves, you're playing real well and you have good focus and good control.
Yeah, but you know, Rob, it wasn't just Connolly that played well last night. The freshmen were outstanding, too.
I thought they all played well, but especially a guy by the name of Brendan Smith I thought was fantastic last night. And he had a power play goal that we're going to take a look at here. And a lot of it was, you know, when you play at a team like North Dakota that likes to go up and down the ice, you got to play at a higher pace. And let's hear what, you know, when we take a look at a guy like Brendan Smith, he definitely played a great game.
And you talk about that game, the Badger head coach Mike Eaves has some thoughts on what he took away from that victory last night.
Well, the best part of last night's game was A, that we won, but B, that we played a team, a very, very fine North Dakota team that plays with great tempo, has good talent, plays well together. And they're a team that by playing them, we're drawn to a higher level. For a young team like ours to play against that and find a way to win gives us huge confidence. But we'll be a better team because we know now to be a championship caliber team, we have to play like that in terms of the tempo and the pace that they play at.
And I'll tell you what, Rob, I think North Dakota will play better tonight, too.
Well, the key for Wisconsin tonight is they have to come out and play a really good first period. North Dakota outscores their opponents 8-1 in the first period, PB, so the Badgers have to play better starting from the get-go.
The opening face-off is coming up. Please stick around. It's the Sioux and the Badgers next on the Badger Hockey Network. There's been 43 games here at the Kohl Center in Madison, and 8 times of those 43 games, more than 14,000 have showed up to watch North Dakota and Wisconsin. Last night, 14,315, and another big crowd here tonight, Rob. And both coaches trying to get their club ready for Game 2 of this series.
And you get to take a look at the coaches there. First off, Dave Hakstol done a remarkable job for North Dakota. See 82, 48, and 12 in his 4th season. And on the Badger side again, Mike Eaves at the helm. And I tell you, Mike Eaves, I think one of the best things that Mike Eaves does is he can juggle lines throughout the game, and he coaches a lot, as you see his record at UW. So again, great matchup of the coaches as well.
He talked about it in the press conference last night when he had moved Patrick Johnson up on the line. He said watching from the bench, he just didn't get the feel of the chemistry on that particular unit.
And then let's get to the goaltenders, too. Again, Jean-Philippe Lamoureux is going to go back in the nets, and I like to think that he was going to play better tonight. As you see, Creer versus UW, not that great 1-6, but so far having a great start. And on the other side, as we already talked about, Shane Connolly for the Badgers, taking over from Brian Elliott, and by far and away last night was his best game as a Badger. 25 saves in the third period. That is amazing.
It looked like a beach ball when it was coming at him last night. He was in that groove.
Let's hope that's the same way tonight.
The opening draw will come up here. The line tonight of Street, Turris, and Turnbull. Remember, we have the 2 referees and the 2 assistant referees. again in this series.
And I have to say, last night it worked very well.
The opening lineup is Watkins, Kipe, and Genoway. As you get a look there on the screen at the forward lines for the Badgers tonight. And Wisconsin will go back in their own zone. Smith goes back, and skating after him is Kipe. Kipe controlling the puck, shot it wide of the goal. North Dakota, in the last couple of games, they've put up a tremendous amount of shots. In fact, 145 shots in the last 2 games, and 76 of them have been on goal. As you see rolling on the screen there, the forwards for North Dakota, as well as their defensive pairings. We're just underway. 19 minutes, 17 seconds remaining in the opening period. Going back is assistant captain Chorney on the break. Coming up ice is Oshie. Coming in over the line as Wisconsin trying to take it away from Duncan of North Dakota, who will play it in the corner on the near side over to Oshie. Oshie works the wing, looking for help. He's out with Van de Velde and Duncan on that forward line. At the point, that's Chorney with a drive, and the rebound is kicked out. Held in, Duncan with it. Fired a shot on goal, blocked by the Badger defense. As Wisconsin tries to bring it out, Van de Velde between the dots, fired it wide of the goal. Oshie came around from behind the net and pressure robbed by the Sioux.
I kind of figured that North Dakota was going to come out with a little bit of energy, and boy, the first 2 lines, big hit against Kyle Turris. He had his head down in the trolley tracks. Watkins, I think, read that beautifully, if I could get the number correct. Just freight train Turris. And sometimes for players, you know what? They always say, coaches say, get into the game, you need a big hit. Whether you give it or you receive it, just get your marbles going upstairs a little bit, and hopefully that gets number 19 going a little bit.
What is the trolley track?
Trolley track's when you're just going, your feet are still, you're kind of gliding. You're riding right on that trolley track, and you don't see a train coming, boom, hits you right there.
18 minutes, 19 seconds remaining here in the opening period. The Badgers have scored 10 in the first 20 minutes of play. Their opponents have scored 6. North Dakota has outscored theirs 8-1 in the games that they've played. They're 4-3-1 overall in the year. Miller is in the lineup tonight. They took Martins out, did make a couple of changes on their 3rd and 4th units of the North Dakota forward lines. And back going over to pick it up is Derek LaPointe out of Eau Claire, Wisconsin, playing for the Sioux. Shots are 1-0 at this point in the game. No penalties called. We only had 8 total penalties called last night. And there's a drive and a glove save by Connolly.
I tell you, there's one area that maybe that's a bit of a weakness for Shane Connolly. It is that right there, that glove. Most goaltenders, if we get to take a look at that replay again, most goaltenders will let that puck come to them. He was kind of moving that glove a little forward, trying to grab it, almost push the puck forward with it. And again, I think that's why last night North Dakota was trying to go upstairs over the glove of Shane Connolly and missing it quite a bit.
Of course, they have the scouting report on Shane Connolly. And that report is glove side and up high.
I think both of these goaltenders in Lamoureux and Connolly, smaller guys that will go down quicker. And again, if they go down, you got the only place to go up is, or the only place open is to go upstairs.
Bendixson is out with Grotting and Davies on a forward line for the Badgers. Defensively, it's Smith and Klubertans. Marco Siki describes those 2 defensemen as they're the guys that don't get rattled, that they can stake. They love to jump into the play. And moving it up ice, Bendixson to the line of North Dakota. Davies trying to pick up the loose puck, and Wisconsin will work it in over the line. Bendixson drives it behind the net. Lamoureux watching the play, and it's going to be picked up by Finley. Finley plays it center ice, and the Badgers will drive it back down in the Sioux zone. Both teams full strength, and they play it to the Wisconsin line. The shot right on, but it was tipped away, and whistle and play is going to be stopped with 16:55 remaining in the opening period.
And what they're going to call that is really a 3-line pass.
Right.
So it's not an offside. Well, technically it's an offside, but again, 3 lines. And so the thing I'm interested to see tonight is again how the Badgers react, because you knew North Dakota was going to come out firing. And I was very impressed with the 4 lines in North Dakota last night. I thought that they could throw them out at any time, and it really didn't matter. You know, sometimes you try to match lines when you're on the road. It doesn't matter for North Dakota.
Well, according to their sports information staff, there's a drive, and Lamoureux made the save. Rebound cleared by Chorney. 13 of the players dressed last night were players that were on the NCAA tournament team. Coming in over the line, there's a backhander with Juan at the goal. In the slot, Getaway couldn't pick it up. They did make one lineup change tonight, but the obvious thing, Rob, is there's a tremendous amount of experience on the Sioux side of the ice.
Well, you mentioned, as you were kind of going through the line chart, about next year will be an interesting year for North Dakota when they lose some guys and maybe guys that go pro early.
They're going to potentially lose a lot. And setting it up, that's a problem in college. We got a penalty coming up against North Dakota. The Badgers are going to go on the power play here as we have a stoppage of.
We're going to get a power play for the Badgers. I believe it's going to be on Zach Jones for contact to the head as you see him going to the bench, or I should say penalty box. He had 2 early penalties last night.
3:56 the time of the penalty. Badgers 1 of 3 on the power play last night. They're converting at about 34% of their power play opportunities. Jeffrey will try to win the draw for Wisconsin. The draw goes forward, and it's driven up into the crowd. Hodge, Turnbull is out for Wisconsin along with Jeffrion and Johnson. We've got Klubertans and Golubev back at the points.
That's a break for the Badgers. They clearly won the draw, but Finley put it all the way out from here, so faceoff comes all the way back into the Sioux zone.
Man advantage, Wisconsin, and the draw is set up. Klubertans at the point to Johnson. Johnson back over to Klubertans with a drive. He had his 4-game goal streak stopped last night. And Johnson with a puck comes around on the point. On the pass over to Klubertans. Over to Johnson as they work the far wing. Man advantage for the Badgers. Turnbull kind of moving around in front of the goal. Klubertans in a little trouble there at the blue line, but held it in. Johnson's pass to Jeffrion is kicked to the point and then comes out of the zone. And the Sioux have worked it all the way back to the Badger blue line.
That was a good play by Duncan to not only find the puck as he made the check on Klubertans, but just push it out of the zone and then change players.
Wisconsin with 1:10 remaining in the man advantage comes up ice. And they're looking to set it up, but the Sioux will play it back down in the Wisconsin zone. North Dakota very effective on the penalty kill. In fact, they've only allowed 3 power play goals. And at center ice, it's poke checked away, moving it in. Watkins, and a back checker there for the Badgers. I believe Davies took that puck away. Wisconsin comes out of their own zone of the break, coming in over the line. Here's Davies off, and the Badgers don't take the shot. Turris moves it back to the point. On the pass from McBain around on the far boards. Badgers did change the lineup. Davies, Street, and Turnbull are out on the forward line. Wisconsin plays it to the point, and North Dakota will dump it the length of the ice.
North Dakota will stay in their box, but as soon as that they think that the Badger player either has his head down or loses control of the puck, they are very aggressive, regardless of where the Badger player is. Whether they're up or low, they'll go after them.
Played down in the corner. Badgers are going to run out of time on the man advantage here. Only 4 more seconds remaining on the power play. So Wisconsin is not going to convert. They're 1 for 4 on the weekend and 0 for 1 for tonight. And they had no shots on that man advantage. And play in the neutral zone. Wisconsin at their own blue line will set it up. McDonough on the play ahead. Work down in the corner. Back in behind Lamoureux. On the break, this is LaPointe. And he fired it up ice. And Wisconsin will go back. We're scoreless at the Kohl Center in Madison, North Dakota and Wisconsin. We're back here at the Kohl Center, ready for the face-off to come up back in the Sioux zone. Turris is out for the Badgers. And the draw goes right in on Lamoureux, and he made the save. Correction. The line has changed. It's now Ford, Dolan, and Mitchell for the Badgers.
Again, this was a line that I thought played very well last night again, and they're a bigger, stronger line that has to play like that.
And Ford looking for his first goal in about 18 games. And the play comes to center ice. It's going to be backhanded down to the corner in the Wisconsin zone. Golubev works it on the wing over to Dolan. Dolan to pick it up on the break towards center ice. Mitchell will backhand it down in the corner. 6 points in his career with the Badgers. Play along the far board. Sioux turn and they come out of the zone. They'll play it down deep in the zone as Wisconsin goes back to pick it up. On the break, controlling it. Wisconsin out of their own zone on the play. They'll move it up ice. Drewiski out paired defensively now for Wisconsin. He plays with Golubev. Badger defensive pairings have remained pretty consistent for the whole year so far. North Dakota trying to pick it up. Zajac behind the goal of Wisconsin. Fratton and Malone are out on that forward line. That's a change from last night.
I'll tell you one quick observation again on North Dakota. They are following through on all of their checks, and coaches always talk about that. If you're going to forecheck a player, whether it be in the offensive zone or maybe even the neutral zone, follow through, put a body on body after they make that pass. Let that player know that we're going to do this every night, so get used to it. Hopefully that hurries that decision-making process or make a bad pass by that defenseman or forward.
Turris out with Street and Podge Turnbull on the forward line. Back defensively Smith and Klubertans. And Smith with it will play it ahead. Smith's off to a pretty good start. 8 points in his career as a freshman for the Badgers.
Talking about Smith, he's got great vision out there. He's got a mind that thinks like he's a forward. He's always jumping up into the play. And again, this is a kid who was drafted in the first round by Detroit. And that's an organization that has been good for the last 10 years in the NHL. A lot of it has to do with the players who they draft.
And nice young man. Mike Eaves describes him as a Mustang. Guy that loves to go. Around the boards on the far side. North Dakota back in their own zone. 12:15 remaining here.
Whoa.
And it's flipped up over the boards and Glass out of play. And we'll have another faceoff coming up in the Sioux zone. Your thoughts so far here in the first approximate 8 minutes?
Well, this is the line we need to get going for Wisconsin last night. Street, as Turnbull got moved up, this line played better. But Kyle Turris, again, this is his first action against a quality team. You know what? He's a marked man. He comes in with a bullseye on his chest.
He was
so
last
far,
weekend, too.
Yeah, a big hit early in the game, and you got to give him some space. And I think he's adjusting to the speed of this game and also the strength of this game. A little bit stronger than junior hockey.
And moving it up ice, they try to lead it through on the play to Matt Watkins. Watkins cycles it behind the Badger net as Kipe out in front with a shot, and Connolly blocked it. I think Kipe tried to go upstairs but couldn't get off the drive. Wisconsin in the neutral zone over to Street. Street comes in over the line, and there's his shot. Played behind the net of the Sioux. Badgers turn and try to pick it up. And Turris with a drive. Couldn't get it off. Solid from between the dots. What do you do to try and get him loose, Rob?
Well, I think what you have to do is rely on your line mates. Get those guys, put them in position. It's about, he's the type of guy that you don't want him in the slot. You want him controlling the puck. So somehow you got to find to get him the puck. That's up to his line mates.
Played back down in the corner. LaPointe angles it around the boards on the play over to Oshie. Oshie's leading them in goals with 5, but he has not scored a goal in his career against Wisconsin.
Only got 2 points, 2 assists.
Played around the boards on the far side. 11:07 remaining in the first period. No score last night. 4-0 Wisconsin. Badgers put up 1 goal and then got 3 in the third. Coming up ice, controlling it. And in over the line and picking it up, Vandeveld. There's Vandeveld circling, trying to move away from the check of McDonough. Mitchell on the far boards looking for the break on the plate at Johnson. Out to center ice. Mitchell trying to control the puck, but it's picked up. And North Dakota's Oshie against 2 Badgers. Dolan one of those, and Mitchell at center ice. Looking for control of the play. Wisconsin will go rink wide on the pass. McBain will play it down, and Badgers will change up. So will the Sioux. We're down to 10:15 remaining in the first period. 1 penalty called in the game. Badgers didn't convert on their power play opportunity. Down in the corner, Dolan trying to work his way loose. Miller coming over to pick it up. Back to the point on the play. As there's a drive, and it went off the stick of Bina in the corner. Sioux will cycle it back in behind toward the Badger net. Work to the near wing with 9:45 remaining, and we've got a penalty. We'll be back with the power play after this timeout.
Back at the Kohl Center, where we're going to see a penalty here on Cody Golubeff and give North Dakota their first opportunity, and they're going to call it a cross-check right there. And folks, that's how you do it. You got your hands so far apart, usually about shoulder width, and
that's the classic.
Jam it on the lower back. Yeah, that's going to get you to the gate every time.
Back to Bina. Bina with a shot, a backhander and a goal by Vanderbilt. His third goal of the year, and North Dakota takes a 1-0 lead.
That's a good read by Robbie Bina back there on the point. He could have picked his poison. He had Vanderbilt, and I believe he had either Duncan or Oshie on the opposite side, and either Vanderbilt could have maybe made a pass to the back door, but he went right upstairs over the glove of Shane Connolly, who did go down. Hopefully we're going to take a look at the goal, because it was a great play by Bina with the vision from the blue line to get it down. He then was able to grab control of it, slide it to his backhand, go upstairs. Again, anytime you get your goaltender down and you're in tight, that's all you can do is try to get it up over that glove. So it gives North Dakota a 1-0 lead here with 9:35 left in the first period.
Oshie got his third assist of the year on the goal. Bina with his 8th of the year, the 3rd of the year for Vanderbilt in the goal department, and the Sioux with the power play goal. So the Badgers are down, and moving it back in over the line, coming in, shot, Conley covered up, and he stops the action by making the glove save.
I talk a lot of broadcasts about face-offs and how important they are. That's an example on that power play of, you know what, you think, just another face-off, I lose it. Well, you lose it, goes back quickly, he makes a quick read, bingo, they're on the board.
And they got on the board at 10:21 of the period. And Wisconsin back in their own zone, ready for the face-off. Bratton with it, playing with Zajac and Malone on a forward line. Along the boards, Wisconsin. Bendixson is out. And there's a drive, and whistle and action's going to be stopped in front of the Badger net. We've got a couple of sticks up high. Zajac and Klubertans. Officials getting in between them. Again, last night, only 8 penalties called total.
Yeah. I don't like the way the 2-referee system worked last night. Again, you can call penalties out of this, and what you're hopeful, if you do call penalties, would be, hey guys, let's not let this get out of hand. But the college hockey game doesn't have many Donnybrooks like we're going to see later between periods between North Dakota and Wisconsin, famous water bottle game. But those are the types of incidents in the front of the net where, you know what, let them give a couple of jabs here and there. Don't make it a 4-on-4 game. Just let them play a little bit more.
I'm sure there may be some people watching the telecast who remember that great game, if you want to call it a great game.
It was
memories.
A great game. Yep.
Back at the Dane County Coliseum, in which John Newberry started a little confrontation with a water bottle. That was 25 years ago. Moving it up ice, controlling it in the neutral zone, come to the blue line of Wisconsin. Play in the corner, down to 8:35 remaining here. And North Dakota looking to set it up. They have a 1-0 lead. Pipe, their captain, work it in the corner, along with Watkins and Getaway. And Podge Turnbull with it, trying to give it to Street and Turris. They did move it up ice, but the Badgers got to go back and regroup. Gruiski with it, the captain of the Badgers. Tried to lead it left wing over to Wingle, who's on a forward line with Jeffrion and Johnson tonight. Goes to Finley. Finley angled it off the boards, and the play over to Robbie Bina. Bina on the break, then the play ahead. Comes to the blue line of Wisconsin. Vanderbilt is out with Duncan and Oshie. This is Jeffrion for Wisconsin. Jeffrion scored last night for Wisconsin, who put up 4 on the board to win the game in the shutout. Bina comes in over the line on the play. Duncan with a drive. He's got 5 goals against Wisconsin in his career. Last year's Hobie Baker.
That's a good call.
And whistle and play is going to be stopped. We'll be back after this timeout.
First time at the Opera, boys?
One 0 Wisconsin. The goal came at 10:21 of the first period, or pardon me, North Dakota 1-0. I guess I'm wishing that the Badgers were in 1-0 as Vanderbilt got his 3rd goal of the year. Connolly behind the net, trying to pick up the save and get some help to move it out of the zone. 7:15 remaining in the first period. Pretty much been all North Dakota.
They've been very good against shots 7-2 so far.
There's a drive, and Connolly stacking the pads. Laid down deep in the zone in the corner. 8-2 now in shots.
I mean, North Dakota just has that jump, and also, again, I think the physical play of North Dakota, they've come out and they're putting body on body. Again, also one of the things that I noticed with the forwards, there's not a whole lot of gap between forwards 1, 2, and 3 when they forecheck.
Well, they are maybe a more physical team this year than they've been in the past. And they don't have the offensive explosiveness like they've had in the last several years. Badgers try to set it up. Backhander. And Lamoureux covered it up and made the save.
Well, this is from the line that's been probably the best line the last 3 games. That's Dolan, Ford, and Mitchell. Again, a lot of it has to do with their size. They play very physical. Brendan Smith, he keeps it, gets his head up, finds somebody to pass it to. Then Bendixson, who's out there, at least on this shift, was able to catch it, pick his head up, find somebody who, and I believe it was Ford. He's on the backhand. If he's able to get on his forehand, maybe he takes it and goes upstairs. But hey, that's the best looking play we've had so far this game.
Bendixson now on a line with Grotting and Davies as they started with that combination tonight. Mike making a couple of minor changes on the forward lines. Moving to Mark Johnson back to right wing.
Patrick.
Patrick.
I'd like to have Mark Johnson out there. That'd be good.
Coming back over to set it up, controlling it. Mark very happy that his young son is wearing the Cardinal in white. Moving it in, shot blocked. And the rebound is fired wide of the goal. Around over to Pratt. Wisconsin turning, trying to bring it out in the break. Moving it up ice. Play at the blue line of North Dakota.
That's right. You can't turn it over, PB. You got to get that puck in deeper if you're going to turn it over.
Malone comes on the play ahead, but Davies there drove it right in on Lamoureux. It is career 37, 30, and 7, but he's only 1 and 6 against Wisconsin. The Sioux, Bina with it, turned, tried to bring it out of the zone. Watkins playing it back to the blue line of Wisconsin. And Gruiski looking for help as Turris will pick it up. See if he can create some space here. Turris comes in over the line, and Finley took him down. And Finley is going to be called on the penalty.
It probably looks a lot worse, and that's why he's going to give him 2 minutes. Because I think Kyle, he actually had pretty good position on Turris, but Turris went down. I think he got his one arm wrapped up in front of him a little bit. Maybe probably a questionable call here, but a break for the Badgers. You're going to see Turris. Finley does the right thing by going, but it's that left arm when he locked on. His body was behind him, and his left arm was locked in front right there. I think that's what Derek Shepard saw. A break for the Badgers here with 5:06. He's probably one of their better penalty killers, and 6'7". Finley is in the box.
So Wisconsin goes on the power play, where they're converting, as you see, on a more than 34%. And let's see if they can tie the game. They're down 1-0 in the contest so far after winning last night. Turris with a puck, a little give and go on the wing. They move it around over to Davies, back over to Turris. Turris comes back to the point on the pass, over to McBain, hopped over his stick.
What people don't realize, those composite sticks, which are all one composite, a little bit more challenging to control the puck. With an old wood stick, it would kind of give a little bit more.
Off ice comes Wisconsin Street. Street scored points in 8 games in a row, including 5 goals and 8 assists for 13 points. Wisconsin with a man advantage. Turris at the point will work the near wing. Passes it around, and they come back. There's a shot. Lamoureux with a save, and the rebound fired wide. Smith had fired it just wide. It comes around over to McBain. They work the wing to try and set it up. Over to Davies. Back on the control. Here's Turris with it. Turris with a puck. Slanting it. Badgers in the slot. Held in. Smith with the puck. Around over to McBain. McBain works the wing over to Davies. Badgers in control. Turris,
Nice.
backdoor, over to Smith with the drive. And on the wing, Wisconsin will
Look
try
out.
to set it up. Here's Oshie one-on-one. Against McBain, comes in off the wing. Backhander and it's steered away. As Data come up with a shorthanded goal there. 27 seconds remaining. Oshie with a great job of working the time off the clock and fired it all the way back in the Sioux zone.
I tell you, I love Oshie. I think he plays with reckless abandon and has got skill to go with it.
And in over the line with it is Kite. Badgers with good puck movement, but they didn't tie the game up. They're down 1-0. Work down deep in the zone in the corner. And Finley's coming out of the box. 3 minutes remaining in the first period. Badgers are down 1-0. 3 penalties called so far in the game. 3 shots on that power play for the Badgers, but they didn't convert. Going back around, trying to pick it up. Wisconsin tries to pinch on the near side. Comes to the neutral zone. Over to Jeffrey on the play to Drewiski. In the corner, Johnson trying to pick it up. Kozik is there as well. The Sioux go rink wide on the pass. And Golubov for the Badgers around on the far boards. Johnson with the play ahead to Mitchell. Mitchell trying to come in over the line, taken away by Mardo. LaPointe banged it around the boards. 2:07 remaining here. And it's driven by McDonough back in behind the Sioux net. Shots are 11-5 in the game. And coming over to pick it up, controlling it. Turning back, here's Mitchell. Over the line, it's played back down in the corner. Dolan on a check there with Ford trying to hold the zone. 1:40 remaining in the period. North Dakota cuts in over the line. They move it in. Shot! Conley with a save. And he covers up. Now we've got a little action along in behind the Badger net.
Paul, some of the times when you get on a power play, even though you don't score, you generate chances, and we'll take a look at a couple here. Again, good puck control, little saucer pass from Turris to Davies, finds Smith all alone. I thought Smith could have shot that a little sooner like he did last night on the one-timer he might have had. And then we go the other way on the shorthander, Oshie. Give credit to McBain, though. Just enough movement on him. But look at the strength of TJ Oshie. Using that puck, put the puck way out to his right, get that left thigh out there to guard it. Again, I really like TJ Oshie. Looks like the Badgers, though, might go up. Nope, they're going to take both Dolan for the Badgers and Fratton for North Dakota. 2 minutes for roughing.
18:27 the time of those matching penalties.
Number 16, Sean Dolan, 2 minutes for roughing. Time of the penalties, 18:27.
So the first time they've matched up a couple of penalties. We're up to 5 in the game, 3 on the Sioux and 2 on the Badgers. The Sioux do lead at 1-0 on Vandevelde's 3rd goal of the year, a backhander. And Bina got his 8th assist of the year, and Oshie his 3rd of the year. And that goal came at 10:21. It was a power play goal for North Dakota. Around the boards, Oshie over to try and pick it up. McDonough, one of the defensemen out for the Badgers. They play it to the point, held in by Chorney with a shot deflected in on Conley, and he made that save.
Okay, good looking foursome for North Dakota here. Robbie Bina, who's been around this league for about 8 years. Then you throw Chorney out there, who got 1 vote for Player of the Year. And I really like Taylor Chorney. An excellent two-way defenseman, never gets beat one-on-one, makes a good breakout pass, but also can jump up in the play. And then he put Duncan, the Hobie Baker winner, and Oshie. That's a pretty good foursome out there.
Coming over to pick it up and control. 1:09 remaining here in the first period of play. Going back over is Watkins on the break. Badgers look to try and hold the zone. Played up ice. North Dakota coming back in over the Wisconsin line. Back defensively, McDonough. And covering up is Conley, and he made the save. Rob, just a second ago, mentioned Chorney as getting 1 vote in the preseason Player of the Year. Duncan got 5, and Oshie got 3 of those votes in the preseason poll. And North Dakota got 7 first-place votes to be picked the league champion.
And again, Taylor's dad, Mark, played at North Dakota, was a star back in the late 70s, won a national championship, I believe, in 1980. It was just a heck of a player.
Coming back up ice, trying to control it. North Dakota with a 1-0 lead. Both teams shorthanded a man. 1:14 remaining here in the first penalty times that are set up, but only 40 seconds remaining in the period. Coming up to the line of Wisconsin, Duncan tried to play it through to Finley, and it's going to be turned back by the Badgers. They come out of their own zone, and it's picked up. Here's Drewski, comes in over the line. Finn trying to work his way loose in the corner. On the play over to Jeffrion. Back over to Golubev. Shot, and it's kicked away by Lamoureux. And up ice come the Sioux. As they work it in over the Badger line. They try backdoor to Oshie. Shot to goal. With 2.7 seconds left in the period, Oshie gets the goal. His first against Wisconsin. His 6th of the year. And now we got a little action going on in front of the Badger net.
Well, if North Dakota gets a break, and they're going to get the goal at the end of the period to go up 2-0 on a great line rush. Again, the Badgers concentrating too much on where the puck is and not on where the other guys are around them. That leaves TJ Oshie all alone in the slot. He undressed one of the Badger players right in front of Shane, got Shane to go down and picked him on the blocker side. And again, see Duncan get across this line, and you're going to see one guy right there get away, go hard, and then he's going to take a defenseman. And you see the young defenseman right there, Golubev, kind of got flat-footed, wasn't looking around to see where other players were. We got another defenseman, Drewski, coming in late. And I tell you, it looks like the Badgers are going to get the worst of this, because after the goal, it was Drewski who cross-checked. I'm not sure if it was either Oshie or Genoway in the back. And then everyone kind of got into it after that.
That's Oshie's first goal against the Badgers here. And all of this happens with less than 3 seconds remaining in the first period.
Very impressed with North Dakota's line rushes, and whether it's 3-on-3 or an odd man rush where they might have 3-on-2, what they're trying to get is really a guy coming across the slot. As maybe the guy has it wide, PB, another guy will go hard, like I saw Genoway go through the middle here, and we're going to take Genoway, number 5. He's going to come into the picture. He's not looking for a pass. He's looking to go to the net and taking somebody with him. What happens? That slides number 7 Oshie over to the middle. Got a nice little passing lane right there, and bingo.
Jeffrion getting into it there.
I think Drewski was the one who hit Oshie after he scored the goal.
Well, we've had some situations with North Dakota in the past, as we mentioned. It's a great rivalry, and there's been some moments where there's been a little action that has taken place out on the ice, sometimes off the ice.
Oh yeah. Well, there's the big water bottle incident that we'll talk about and see, but also up in North Dakota a couple years before that, they had a big
before
fight.
during the warm-ups.
Yeah. I know Mike Eaves is not going to be happy about this, as you see Camping come over, but after they score, Drewski definitely cross-checks, and that's what starts it. So he's got to get the original penalty, and I think that's what they did there. Then they just boxed everyone up.
So getting an explanation from the officials. And as Rob mentioned, the Badgers could come out of this.
Well, they have it up on the box, or up and say on the scoreboard, that they have Drewski, who's got, again, the original penalty.
They got Dolan up, too.
Will be cross-checking. Well, he's already in the box, so that...
At this point, yeah.
And he went with a Fratton, so still a power play. Looks like it's going to be 4-on-3 for 2.7 seconds, and they'll start the second period with 27 seconds left of power play time. 4-on-3.
And a 2-0 game, more importantly, as North Dakota will skate to the locker room with that 2-goal lead.
Well, definitely North Dakota made a statement early on. The way they played, they were physical against our young players all over, whether defense or offense. I tell you, they made a statement here in the first period.
So that's where we stand after 20 minutes of play. Shots are 14-6. The score is 2-0, and we're back on the Badger Hockey Network.
FSN Wisconsin.
We're back here at the Kohl Center where after 20 minutes of play, the Sioux of North Dakota lead the Wisconsin Badgers by a score of 2-0, along with Rob Andringa. I'm Paul Brown. This is a great rivalry between these two teams, and a lot of Badger hockey fans who've been around the program a long time remember when the games used to be played at the Dane County Memorial Coliseum. And when you think of the Coliseum in North Dakota, you think of a Friday night about 25 years ago.
And just a little pushing and shoving and friendly conversation once again at the Dane County Coliseum. And they're going to talk a little more. And Eaves isn't done yet, and Driver's not done yet, but the talk's going to get him nowhere. And the officials in there pushing them farther and farther apart so they can't communicate. Now Eaves is over, and he went into the Wisconsin bench after a player. And here we go. Eaves went right into the Wisconsin bench after the players. North Dakota has emptied their bench. And they have emptied their bench. They're fighting out in the aisles and every place else. And Eaves went right into the Badger bench. He initiated it. They're down through the aisles. They're fighting with the police. They're fighting with the fans. And North Dakota has done it again. And there's no question about who started that. Eaves walked right into the door.
And I'll tell you what, people will talk about that for a long, long time, and they got it pretty much settled down. But all of a sudden, Mr. Eaves, Rob, he comes back from behind the curtain. Here he comes right there and jumps into the Wisconsin bench, and it started all over.
You know, that was a guy by the name of Jim Archibald, who I was a stick boy for the Badgers then. I tell you, I was terrified because I was between those benches, and North Dakota had some big boys. And this is what it was like through those moments. And I tell you, that was some rough and tumble type hockey.
And we'll continue with this right after this timeout.
Regular size.
We're back at the Kohl Center here during the first intermission. North Dakota leads it 2-0, and we were showing you a little bit of that video there that happened. Bill Howard and I were doing the commentary on radio and television at that time. Obviously, we had a different perspective than the guys that were doing it for North Dakota. You were very close. You were down there on the ice. What really did start it?
Well, what happened, I was right next to the door that Kerry Eaves came in, and what happened was John Newberry said a word to Kerry Eaves, and Kerry Eaves said a naughty word back to him. And that kind of started because then John Newberry took the water bottle that he was drinking from and just put a nice stream of water right on the face of Kerry Eaves. And then, you know, next thing you know, we got people running all over the place. And there was also between the benches back at the Kohl Center, people don't know, that's cement that they're standing. You see the people over there to the right, that's all, I was in that area right back there. And really what we have there is cement. So North Dakota is running on cement with their skate blades. And again, it's just chaos. People falling everywhere. You see North Dakota.
Watch the curtain.
North Dakota players are fighting. They're not fighting Badger players. They're fighting the sheriffs and the police officers that were trying to take them back. And at the end here, you're going to see a guy get dragged to the back. What comes happen? It's Jimmy Archibald who goes all the way back and just suckers them.
And I'll tell you what, John Newberry, who used that water bottle to start this whole thing, is here in the building. We'll be back right after this timeout.
Bucks Live.
We're ready for the second period to get underway here from the Kohl Center into Madison. And the Sioux have the lead and a power play to start the period.
And again, Mike Eaves is still trying to get an explanation from Derek Shepard. And again, what I think they called was they called Jawiski for 2 minutes for cross-checking, and then also an unsportsmanlike, instigator. That's what it was. So again, as you see the statistics from the first period, all North Dakota except for face-offs, but they were good on special teams and at least on their power play. I'll tell you that one hurt us is when we were on the power play, didn't get a goal. I thought that could have turned the momentum. Now we're down 2-0, and they go on a 4-on-3 power play.
Ganaway got an assist on the last goal, and also getting an assist was Duncan. And we're underway with the middle period here. North Dakota coming out of their own zone, controlling the puck. They come in over the blue line. McDonough is out along with McBain on the penalty kill. And Street for Wisconsin. This is Duncan. Duncan controlling it. Above the circle, fired it off the glass. Comes around to the wing. Duncan played it deep in the zone in the corner. Kipe worked it around to the far point. McDonough turned and tried to clear it out of the zone. And it's Dolan with it. Angled it off the boards, picked up on the pass. Here's Street with a drive. Short of the net, and it's going to be cleared by North Dakota. Up ice come the Sioux in a hurry. In over the Wisconsin line. The play, North Dakota's Fratton is out on this forward line. To the point on the pass to Chorney. And there's a drive wide of Connolly, who had 12 saves in the first period. Still power play hockey. It's now 5-on-4 North Dakota. Fratton with it, moving it in, shot, and it's blocked. Connolly's down. Puck came loose, and the official stops the play.
Oh, great movement by North Dakota, PB. And Shane Connolly had to come up with a big save there. Didn't know where the puck was. He was laying on his back. And yet the puck was just to the left of him. You're going to see Miller here in tight. He had a guy in the back door, but give credit to the Badger defenseman Smith for crashing down on this. He's going to see a look, just a couple of good looks here. I like the puck movement as well as the body movement by North Dakota. They're going to get it down to Miller. He's going to go across. He could have gone cross ice there, but give Smith the credit, as I mentioned. Then he's trying to stuff it in off the back of Shane Connolly.
14-6 in shots at this point in the game. 31 seconds before the Badgers get back to full strength. They're already down 2-0 in the game. There's a drive. Comes around over to Street. And they've had enough, and they fire it in on Lamoureux, who had a total of 6 saves in the first period. Get over the line again. This is Duncan. Duncan with a play, worked it off the back wall around to Bina, back to Duncan. They come on the pass to Miller, to the point on the play, to the point, and back is Davies out on the ice. Both teams at full strength. Badgers need a goal, Rob.
Yeah,
they need
do.
a good scoring opportunity. Ahead on the pass. Here's Grotting down in the corner, along with Davies, as the Sioux work it to their own blue line and bring it out of the zone. Badgers break that up in Klubertans. Tried to lift it ahead. It was blocked off the stick on Zajac in the high stick, and that stops the play.
Well, again, I think North Dakota has controlled this game because not only are they using their forwards, but when they get that puck and they start to break out, they either got their feet moving forward or they're moving that puck to somebody who is, whereas the Badgers case right there, Klubertans held onto the puck and his feet were still. Wasn't moving the puck. That allows players for North Dakota to get in perfect position to defend that.
They are playing very well tonight. Ranked as one of the premier teams in college hockey. Great program. 22 times they've been to the NCAA tournament. 17 times they have participated in the Frozen Four, and they've won 3 of them, or 7 of them, and 3 in, they have appeared in 3 in a row. 7 titles, 6 for the Badgers, 13 between the two schools.
It's just a great, this is, again, I was talking to the coaches, Kerry Eaves and Dane Jackson before, and a lot of respect between these programs.
Played along the boards on the near side, and whistle. Action's going to be stopped, and the Badgers are going to get a power play because of the cross-checking call.
Yep, Kipe's going to go 2 minutes for cross-checking. Big break for the Badgers here with 17:27 left in the second. Early, too. Gets some momentum. Again, last time the Badgers were on the power play in the first period, this first unit was able to move that puck around, also get quality body movement as well. See right there, right off the get-go, Kipe and I believe Turris were facing off. Turris won the draw, and whenever you lose a draw, you go man on man, center on center.
And it's played back down to the Badgers zone. Maybe Turris will get on track and get a goal here for the Badgers. Not that he's really off track already this year. He's got 5 goals, including 4 power play goals. Coming around on the near wing, it comes all the way back to center ice. Smith with it, and he'll play it around to the far side over to McBain. Badger defensemen have already scored 11 goals this year. That's more than all of last year. 31 points already this year. 59 all of last year. Wisconsin with a man advantage, and the pass comes out of the zone, and that'll force the face-off outside the Sioux zone.
Well, what happened there, Brendan Smith, it should be an easy pass. He's a left-hander playing on his left-hand side, and yet he was able to make a pass over that came out, kind of handcuffed Jamie McBain, but they flip-flop on the power play, so it should have been the reversal. So face-off just outside of North Dakota's zone.
Jeffrey on trying to win the draw for the Badgers. Rob, he's one of the better face-off men, isn't he?
Oh.
They call a penalty?
Yeah, they did.
On Jeffrey on?
Yeah, that's, you know, they've been calling that pretty regularly the last 2 years as off a draw. If you get your stick somehow in tight on a guy and he looks like he's going to be, you know, going forward, they'll call you in a hook. And I think you're going to see here, Jeffrey on gave him the hook, then got rid of him, then he spun around. A little acting there by Van de Velde, but again, they've been pretty consistent with that call. When you get beat, especially like Jeffrey on got beat, can't put your stick on him.
So the hooking call makes both clubs shorthanded a man, but in 1:04, the Sioux will have a short power play situation on. They scored late in the first period at 19:58 on Oshie's 6th goal of the year to take a 2-0 lead. And it's played ahead. Wisconsin will turn and come back up ice. Here's Dolan cutting in over the line with a shot high and wide of Lamoureux in the corner. Wisconsin trying to control the play, trying to work it with Ford and Johnson, but it's going to go all the way back down in the Badger zone. North Dakota will change up. 24 seconds. They're going to be on the man advantage. Here's Golubev, comes in over the line. Turris is out as he will try to chase the puck in the corner. Wisconsin, McBain with it. Back out on top. They come on the wing to McDonough, trying to go passing it through 2 Sioux players who took it away. Duncan back the other way. Duncan at the point, goes to the backside wing, and the Sioux will set it up, and now they've got a power play on for 44 more seconds. Here's Duncan. Duncan turned on the wraparound. Puck came loose, and play is going to be stopped in the Wisconsin zone.
Yeah, Badgers go on a penalty kill now, and a great vision by Duncan to go side to side, and he kind of came over the blue line, stopped. But I really like Ryan Duncan. You can kind of see why he was the Hobie Baker winner last year. Just right there is a good example. Good control for a guy who's not very big. Has a nose for the net. 5 goals against Wisconsin in his career in 7 games.
Face-off will come up to the left side of Conley as he looks out from goal. In a 2-0 game, and the Badgers clear it out. Moving it up ice, trying to work his way in. Drewiski, and the shot taken, and it was Engel and Drewiski who tried to work that combination. And play is going to be stopped as we have 14:57 remaining here in the second period.
Badgers able to create something off of a face-off. Problem is Josh Engel went up. He took a snapshot. I would have hammered it. Give credit though to Chorney as he read it. It started to be a 2-on-1, ended up being a 2-on-2, and that allowed Chorney to slide over and get a stick in front of Engel. You see off the draw, the Badgers catch a break, and all the way down, you're going to see Chorney look at it, make sure he's got connection with the guy. As soon as he sees that, slides over 1-2 little steps. A little bit more difficult for Josh Engel to put it on net.
Played back in behind the Badger net, around to the far side. Trupp with it, played it to the point, comes around on the pass over to Chorney, shot, and Conley covered up, and he made the save. 5 seconds remaining on the penalty time to the hooking call on Jeffrey on, and then the Badgers will be back at full strength. Got 1 score in progress, 3-1 St. Cloud. Leading Michigan Tech. St. Cloud won last night.
5-2, yeah, they can score.
We had an incorrect score last night saying that Tech had come back and taken the lead. So Tech slowed down a bit. And Turris moving it up ice. Turris comes in over the line as it's cleared from his stick back to the blue line of Wisconsin. In a 2-0 game, Drewiski. Badgers go back. Got a forecheck on by Miller. of North Dakota. Badgers trying to get organized, but LaPointe holds the blue line of Wisconsin. Play on the near boards. North Dakota will try to set it up, and Miller, pretty good shift there for him and Trupp. Wisconsin comes out of their own zone, trailing 2-0. Golubef in over the line. Here's Davies trying to work between the dots. He was tied up, and Zajac will work it to the point. Badgers hold it there. Both teams at full strength. Street with it in the corner. We've got a penalty coming up.
It's going to be Ambina.
That's going to give the Badgers a power play situation, and Wisconsin will be on the power play. We'll be back right after this timeout.
Back at the Kohl Center. Let's take a look at the penalty on Robbie Bina for holding here again. He and Kyle Turris are tied up. Play goes away, and the play's not underneath him now. Kyle does the right thing by trying to find the puck and make a movement left or right as we get the second look, and right there, it's a good takedown as well.
Man advantage for Wisconsin in a 2-0 game. Badgers need a power play goal. Here's Johnson with it, back to the point on the play over to Klubertans. Klubertans with a puck, comes around over to Johnson to work the near boards, trying to get something set up here. This is Jeffrey-on. Jeffrey-on, back over to Johnson, back to Jeffrey-on with a drive. Golubef with the rebound. They play it around to Turnbull, to Johnson, around the boards to Klubertans. They work the wing to Jeffrey-on. There's Jeffrey-on, a little give and go. Johnson in front, couldn't get the pass there to Turnbull. Play in the corner, Johnson with it around over to Turnbull. Here's Turnbull moving between the circles, fired a shot, deflected to the wing. Badgers control. Jeffrey-on with it. Jeffrey-on of the play, comes to Johnson. Johnson's pass is tipped out of the zone.
Yeah, again, they're reading that well. Talking about North Dakota. They got to get it down low, create something down low. That'll ease up the up top part of it, what you're trying to do as the Badgers are offside.
That stops the play.
And again, what they're doing is they're trying to get Johnson and Jeffrey on to kind of spin around and create something, then go back up top to get a shot. I think we got to go back down to Johnson or Jeffrey along the goal line and get a guy in the back door. Try that once or twice. And then North Dakota's got to respect that. Then you go back up top.
Turris will try to win the faceoff for Wisconsin. Draw set up in the neutral zone. Smith with it. Almost, and is taken off his stick by Duncan and Finley. They combine to play it back down to the Badger zone. Street back to regroup for the Cardinal in white. 34 seconds remaining. Oshie with the play, comes in over the Wisconsin line. Oshie's got one of the 2 goals tonight, the other by Vandevelde. And the play along the boards on the near wing. Badgers come up ice, in over the line, pulling up. Smith on the play to Davies. Had a pretty good scoring opportunity there, Rob. Didn't take the shot.
You know, he had a guy flying on his left side and his right, probably make a pass either way, and it just was in the skate so of Michael Davies.
Going to run out of time, and they have on the man advantage. North Dakota is back at full strength. Over to Smith, drove it wide of the goal. Badgers can't hold the zone, and it goes all the way back down in the Badger zone, and Wisconsin's Connolly quickly plays it on the wing near board. Get back in the Badger zone, and do we get a penalty? Charging. It's going to be called. We'll be back with a Badger power play after this break on the Badger Hockey Network.
We're looking at Kozak in the box. He's going to get 2 minutes for charging. Let's take a look at it again. Charging is really when you just whale a guy. And folks, a lot of it has to do with how many strides you take before you get to the guy. I thought that was, you know what, bad part on McBain for not keeping your feet moving. I thought that was a pretty good hit.
Coming up ice, controlling it. Man advantage, Wisconsin, down 2-0 in the game. And Kipe will wind up and drive it down to the Badger zone. We're 10:58 showing here in the second period. Shots are 16-7 in the game. North Dakota with a 2-0 lead as Wisconsin works on the man advantage. Johnson in the corner. Jeffrey on. And Davies are there. Golubef and Klubertans back at the points on the power play. Crowd hasn't been able to get into it tonight. Been fairly quiet here at the Kohl Center. Sioux got out in front in the first period at 10:21 on Vandevelde's goal.
They've dictated the pace of play.
Yeah, they have.
And the style of play, too.
And the Badgers will ice the puck with the power play. It shows 1:02 remaining.
And it feels like we're looking for, the players are looking for one or two guys to do it. And they're just kind of watching, whereas North Dakota, when they're coming up the ice, everyone wants the puck, it seems like. And they're trying to create something very intense, very focused. That's why they have a 2-0 lead.
Face off in the Wisconsin zone to McBain. Badgers will work it up ice with less than a minute remaining on the power play. Turris gets the lead and he'll whip it around the boards. Streaked in the corner. Went through his skates and McBain can't hold the blue line. And it goes back in the Badger zone. Conley fires it around over to Smith. Smith behind the net on the play for Wisconsin on the break to Turris. Comes back down in the Wisconsin zone. They're down to 30 seconds remaining on the power play. Davies skates in over the line. Turris moving to the net. Got the pass, but he failed on the shot. Slapping his stick on the ice, wanting the puck from Davies. There's a drive, and it's blocked in front as the Sioux will clear it down the ice.
A little bit of frustration there again, trying to get something happening to Jamie McBain, trying to do something, buries it right in Kozak's leg.
Badgers up ice as Street backhands it in over the line, and Lamoureux makes the save, and action stopped with 9:14 remaining in the period.
Good penalty kill by North Dakota. Again, they can throw so many forwards up front. It doesn't matter. They got Kozak, they have Fratton, they have guys like Watkins and Kipe. Guys that look very similar when they play. I tell you, they're playing at a different pace than they were last night. And I thought they were good last night.
Mike Valley just pointed out the Badgers have 3 shots on 5 power plays tonight.
7 shots altogether for the game.
Coming around over to try and set it up. Play in the neutral zone. Wisconsin backing it up. Gruiski is harassed as he's pinned in the corner. And it's held in. Shot by Kozak. Steered wide of Connolly, the goaltender. Play comes along back in behind the Badger net. Gruiski will try to work it out with help. Dolan is there. Slapped it off the boards on the break to Ford. We've got a penalty coming up against North Dakota. Well, Rob, the Badgers are certainly getting their opportunities here.
You know, North Dakota plays so hard and so intense that they normally take a lot of penalties, and I don't think that it really bothers them. I mean, it makes them angry that that they're not getting some calls, but that'll play into their favor at some point, and usually it does down the road. So the last 3 years they've been in the Frozen Four. You see right here. Yeah, that's a penalty right there, folks. Johnny Mitchell just turned around and Trupp just goes up high on him. It's an easy call, and you can say, hey, you know what, we've had 3 in a row, and I know if that was for the Badgers, I'd be probably screaming, saying, you know what, we're getting homered in our own building.
They got 7 penalties tonight. The Badgers had 3. Last night the Badgers had 5 and North Dakota had 3. Golubov with a drive wide of the goal. Pretty solid shot there. And Klubertan's at the point. Badgers need one to get things moving here. They're down 2-0 in the game. Bodge Turnbull to Jeffrey-on. Jeffrey-on with a shot. Tried to go short side upstairs. Here's Golubov with it. Golubov on the wing for the Badgers.
Somebody in front, nobody in front.
As Wisconsin works it around the boards. Johnson down to the corner. Back to Klubertan's at the point. He can't hold the zone. See if Wisconsin will change up here.
All 5 guys, though, along the boards in the power play. You got to have guys in front.
Bodge Turnbull off over to Jeffrey-on. Moving shot, save! As Lamoureux turned away Johnson.
I think Johnson missed that one, PB.
And coming up ice, coming back Jeffrey-on. Jeffrey-on the play, taken away. 48 seconds remaining. just not clicking tonight, is it, Ron?
Well, again, I
North
think
Dakota's awfully good.
That's the problem, is we're standing and watching instead of trying to dictate.
Up ice coming in over the line, now down to 7:07 remaining in the second period. A lot of experience on the Sioux hockey team. Great amount of success with that program. And as Rob mentioned, appearing in the last 3 in a row, Frozen Fours. Coming in over the line, controlling it. Here's McBain. 13 seconds remaining on the power play. Street shot is cleared up ice. With it is Watkins. Watkins has got Kipe and moving it in. There's his shot just wide of the goal. And a collision in on Conley. Penalty's over. And Wisconsin does not convert in the power play. Badgers tonight 0 of 5 on their man advantage. They were 1 of 3 last night, coming in converting on more than 34% of their man advantage situation. Trupp with it, comes in over the Wisconsin line. Smith bumped him. Sioux behind the net as they work the wing and set it up. There's a drive, knocked down by Conley in front, looking for the play. It comes over to the wing. Going cross ice on the pass, over to Miller. Miller playing pretty well tonight. Shot was a save by Conley against Miller. Unbelievable save by Conley against Miller.
Folks, this is all.
We'll be back after this timeout.
Well, back here, folks, tonight, take a look at it. Probably something will be on ESPN tonight, folks. Great save here. You're going to see Shane Conley never give up. Oh, boy, folks. So he's able to get his paddle down and take one away from Miller. And again, because that was in the air, tough to tell if it goes over the line or not. If that thing's on the ground, probably a goal.
It certainly is brought
they're going to replay it, too. And I tell you what they're looking for is did the puck go across that line? Because if the puck's in the air and goes across that line, it's a goal. See Miller just on his off wing. Perfect spot for him. He's going to pull it up. Whoa, that's going to be tight.
Whoa.
Well, the official is on the goal line. I tell you, he had one exactly like that against Denver in his freshman year when he had to fill in for Brian Elliott. Same kind of thing. Spinned around, used as a paddle to knock it away. Well, again, you're going to go to replay, and hopefully they got an angle from up above that goes straight down, because that's the only way you could tell. From the side angle, looked like he got it. But
it is being reviewed.
Close, too close to tell, but what a great acrobatic save. I saw Shane play in the juniors when he played for the Chicago Steel, and he reminds me a lot of Mike Richter and Curtis Joseph. Very athletic, very quick in his movements left, right. Again, let's take a look at it here as Miller on his backside does the right thing, not trying to bring it back to his forehand, just tries to knock it in with his.
That looks like it's in the net, doesn't it?
Again,
looks like it. It's no goal. No goal.
Again, how many looks you have, and if you got one from up above, which I'm not sure if they do or not.
Here we're going to look from above. Well, see on that one.
You can't tell if that's a puck or not, but there was definitely a black dot that was close enough.
It remains 2-0. And Wisconsin, maybe that'll charge them up here. It certainly charged up the crowd. 5 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the second period. 2-0 North Dakota. Lamoureux with the save. Picked up. Grotting with it. Worked the wing. Badgers trying to hold the zone. Something like that could ignite the club, couldn't it, Rob?
That a big hit. This is where you need a good shift. Keep the crowd involved.
And Bendixson is out on that forward line with Grotting and Davies trying to keep it going. Golubeff down in the corner. As we're down to 4:49 remaining in the second period. Played back in behind Conley as he watches the action. Bendixson gets himself loose, worked it out of the break. North Dakota fires it back in. Connolly cutting it off. 2 goals of the game. Vandevelde his 3rd of the year. And that shot, Connolly makes the save, and Oshie with his 6th of the year. They have 1 power play goal tonight and 1 5-on-5.
Good look there at Finley again, the big defenseman from Edina, 6'7", 245. And I asked some of the players, I said, does he look big on skates? He says, a lot of the guys said, you know what? We have John Mitchell, who's about 6'4", 6'5", and he said he makes him look small. But it just, you know, Finley, talking about him, he's a #1 draft pick, and he has gotten better every year to the point where now he's on the power play. Last year, he could not have been on the power play for North Dakota.
And it's set up and played up ice. We've got 20 draft choices. And there's Ford's drive up into the crowd. You've got 20 draft choices on the ice this weekend. 11 for North Dakota, 9 for the Badgers. Got 5 from the first round, 2 from the second. Little gathering in the corner.
This is what I expected more of, especially tonight, because North Dakota getting blanked 4-0. Again, you look at their roster. Interesting stat. A lot of the forwards, and I believe they had it last night 13.
Right.
Sorry, they had a lot of players from Canada up front. All defensemen on their team from the United States,
including one from Eau Claire. And that is Derek LaPlante, who played at Eau Claire North.
Yep. 9 forwards hail from Canada, and all the players on the blue line. And again, one of the things that I really respect about North Dakota is they very similar to recruiting efforts like Wisconsin. You got to go throughout not only the United States but also Canada. You get a lot of Western Canadian type kids. Again, very similar history, the tradition, you know, great buildings, everything about it.
Still 2-0, 2-1 in shots now in the game, 20-10. Face-off coming up just outside the blue line of the Sioux. Jeffrion is out for the Badgers with Johnson and Engel. Comes around to McBain. McBain comes in over the line, shotted wide of the goal. Engel in the corner, playing in his 2nd game in a row after being out with an injury. Here's a drive by McDonough, can't get it through traffic. And it's going to be played around the boards. Down in the corner, Engel trying to pick it up. He's bumped by Chorney along the wing. North Dakota trying to bring it out. Badgers Johnson holds it in, and then he's checked. Playing down in the zone, and McDonough for the Badgers, harassed by Oshie. McDonough is checked, and Streak came over to try and help out. North Dakota backs it up to their own line and looks to regroup there. Both teams at full strength. Sioux to the blue line of Wisconsin. Vandevelde comes in over the line. A backhanded shot just wide by Duncan. Duncan 50 goals in his career. There's a backhander through the crease. Comes around over to McBain, who turns and tries to bring it out. On the play to Street. Street comes up ice and drives it in. Lamoureux will hold on and stop the play. And we'll be back after the break here on the Badger Hockey Network.
Back at the Kohl Center, let's take a quick look at the standings here. As again, North Dakota 2-3 in the league, even though they're ranked 3rd in the nation. You can see why, though.
They absolutely win a lot of games before the year is over. They'll be right in it there at the end. Street with it, played it back down in the corner. Coming over to try and pick it up. At the point, it's held in. Shotted wide of the goal. Badgers, maybe they can get a goal late in the period like North Dakota did in the first. They scored with about 2 seconds left. And it's played in the neutral zone of Wisconsin at center ice. They tried to lead it to Turris, played back, coming in over the line.
Whoa.
Kozak with it. Nice move. Shot a goal. Whoa, what a great goal by Kozak. His 5th of the year.
Wow, did he undress Podge Turnbull, who's not a defenseman. Kyle Klubertans tried to come up, play in the neutral zone, make a play. And again, North Dakota just too quick. Transition game, folks. They got a turnover on their blue line, went quickly up the ice. Kozak made a beautiful move, toe-heeled Podge Turnbull. Whoop! And then beat. I tell you, that's just a perfect shot because Shane had the angle. Shane had his glove where he wanted it. Man, good looking play by Kozak.
And a 3-0 game here. And that enthusiasm was in the crowd a little bit ago. It's gone now.
Well, you know, again, Turnbull had the puck in the neutral zone, and he could have taken one quick step after he got it and made a quick, hard pass to the forward who was going up the right side, but he held on to it 2 seconds too late. Then he just had to flick it up there. Bina read it perfectly, took it, put it down, moved it right up the ice, then jumped up in the play. I tell you, I love that transition hockey when it's done perfectly. North Dakota, they do it better than most teams.
Bina with his 2nd assist of the night and his 9th of the year on the 5th goal of the year by Kozak. And a 3-0 deficit for Wisconsin. In the slot, Rotting trying to come up with it. Rotting no goals in his last 19 games for the Badgers. Down to 1:44 remaining in the 2nd period. Badgers won 4-0 last night. North Dakota leading 3-0 tonight. And Rob, it's hard to believe, but after this game tonight, these two teams will not play again in the regular season.
Yep. And it's just, you know, that's the way the league plays. You have a rotating schedule. Badgers always will play Minnesota home and home. But you see right there, that's a great play by Bina. Again, just a 1 second or two too late. That allows Kozak to get in position, but Bina, more importantly, to grab that puck, put it down. They had a 4-on-2 there. Turned into really a 2-on-1 at the end.
Coming back over to try and pick it up, play along the boards. 1:27 remaining in the period. Dolan comes in over the line. Dolan with it, shot it wide of the goal. And at the point, McBain tried to backhand and hold it in. Sioux come in over the Badger line, and there's a drive just wide by Genoway. And along the boards in the near wing, over to try and set that up. In front, Badgers turn and look to clear it out. 1 minute remaining in the period. Coming up ice, bringing it over the line. This is Mitchell, who pulls up in the corner. On the pass to Ford. Shot! Down is Lamoureux. Heavy traffic in front of the net. And now we've got some pushing and shoving going on. And the players pairing off against one another. The officials trying to get in between them. The 3-4 players down behind the goal. And we're going to get some penalties called out of this one.
Yeah. We got Dolan and Chorney going at it. I believe Ford is there.
And again, late in the period.
What happened was the puck was laying there, and I believe Ford, one of the Badger forwards, could not get a stick on it because the stick was being held by another stick from North Dakota. And I don't know if you would call that a penalty or not, because it wasn't grabbing the stick with his hand. It was just stick on stick. You're going to see here, Ford's going to get the puck as he comes across the blue line. He's going to put a shot on net. I think Dolan's right there. No, maybe that's McBain. And Ford's trying to go in right there. You get guys going. That's, I'll tell you one thing North Dakota does every single year is they protect their goaltender.
Yeah, they really do.
See Dolan right there trying to go after it. Mitchell, then McBain gets in there. And I think Chorney went after Ford because of that push that he gave him, and then everyone went to it.
So we'll get the explanation on the penalties coming up here with 47 seconds remaining in the 2nd period. 3-0 North Dakota. Mike Eaves looking on in his 6th year as head coach of the Badgers. As both captains over talking with one of the officials. That's Kipe of North Dakota and Drewiski for the Badgers.
I'll tell you, that's the one thing that gives North Dakota an edge in most cases is right there. Protecting your goaltending, they're nasty. So you get a look at both Hakstol and Eaves. Hakstol, solid defenseman, and Eaves, pretty darn good forward in his day for North Dakota. As we saw earlier, not afraid to mix it up. Badgers might get a power play out of this. But North Dakota protects their goaltender not just by hitting guys. I mean, they're nasty. They'll slug, they'll pinch, I mean, anything, they'll do it.
And some 4-minute penalties are going up, double minors.
18, Matthew Ford, 2 minutes for roughing. And Wisconsin penalty number 16.
Ford got 2 for roughing.
2 minutes for roughing.
2 for roughing to Dolan.
19-12.
19-12 the time of the penalties here. They have a 2-minute penalty up on Vandevelde. So the Badgers will have a power play opportunity out of this whole situation.
Yeah.
47 seconds in which the Badgers can operate here and potentially get on the board.
Well, it's critical. You got to win the draw. That allows you to set something up or get it into the zone deep enough. Oshie versus Turris.
Oshie's got his 6th goal of the year tonight. And with it is Finley. Finley found an opening and he played it the length of the ice. Badgers go back. This will carry over, of course, to the 3rd period. Wisconsin comes in over the line as Turris and Davies and Street are out on the forward line, but North Dakota, nice job of clearing it out of their own zone. And there's a shot right on by Duncan, and Conley had to make the save.
Again, North Dakota doesn't matter. They'll run and gun you. Penalty kill situation. The Badgers get caught with a couple guys back. So Duncan and Oshie start flying up the other way. Even maybe a defensive started to follow up. But Duncan decided that, you know what, my guy was covered, so what I'm going to do is blast one away, and he does. Conley makes the save, so face off with 18.9 to the right of Shane Connolly.
Face off in the zone of Wisconsin. Draw comes to Finley. His shot is blocked. Badgers work it off the wing, trying to control it, but Finley backhands it in the Wisconsin zone. Golobeck trying to lead it through on the play to Turnbull and Johnson. As we're going to come to the close of the 2nd period of play. And after 40 minutes of action, Rob, the Badgers down 3-0.
Yeah, and again, they're doing a lot of things poorly, but again, I look back at North Dakota, they're doing everything right tonight. They're physical, they're aggressive, and they're creating chances off of turnovers. They're making good on them.
We'll be back here at the Kohl Center after this timeout on the Badger Hockey Network, where the Sioux are up by 3. We're back here at the Kohl Center, where after 2 periods of play, North Dakota leading 3-0 over the Badgers. And Rob, in some ways, the game is very similar to last night, except the score.
Yeah, Badgers, again, had the lead last night, but North Dakota has played exceptionally well both nights, and I thought this 2nd period they were outstanding. And again, a lot of the things that they're doing is transition well, as we've talked about. They're just more physical. We're going to take a look at the Kozak goal. Again, a good read by Bina to come up, play it in the neutral zone, and then Kozak just toe heels us to death. You hear a little ping there. I tell you, that is just that's kind of sums it all up right there, how good North Dakota is tonight.
Well, we'll see if the Badgers can adjust here as we get ready for the 3rd period to get underway. You see a very quality hockey team in the Sioux leading the Badgers by 3 after 2. We're back after this. We'll begin the 3rd period with Wisconsin having a power play opportunity. 1 minute, 13 seconds remaining on the man advantage. And a chance to get on the board. Conley, as you take a look at the stats, shots on goal 24-13, saves 21 for Conley, 13 for Lamoureux. On the power play tonight, the Badgers are 0 of 7. North Dakota is 1 of 3.
Well, if you're going to catch a break, here it is, PB. You come out, you got fresh ice. You should be able to set the puck up, lay it flat, do some things offensively, but both power plays, except for that first one in the 1st period, have not performed very well. Really no traffic in front, no puck moving, so hopefully we could do something with this with another 1:10.
Played back down in the Wisconsin zone, and McBain will pick it up for the Badgers. Turris gets the pass ahead, comes rink wide, played it to the stick of Street. Street with a drive went off the glass. In fact, it went up against the netting, and that'll draw the faceoff and the stoppage of play.
I think the argument is where the faceoff will be, if it's going to be inside. Did it go off a North Dakota player, or did it go off a Wisconsin stick? And because of the North Dakota player stick that it hit, it'll come right on top of the faceoff circle.
Street is out with Turris and Davies, McBain and Smith. Here's Smith moving it in. Shot. Lamoureux right on to making the save.
Again, right off the draw. Michael Davies, he's not taking the draw. Turris is, but the puck comes loose. He slides over, knocks it to Brendan Smith, who walks all the way in. Give credit to Finley as he read that, came up. That forced Smith to do something with it quickly, put it on net. Face up now again to the right of Lamoureux.
Lamoureux had 4 shutouts in his first 5 games this year. That's never happened in the WCHA. National Player of the Month. Giving up ice in the break. Here's Smith, comes in over the line. Smith pulls up on the wing, cycled it on the boards, still on the near side. Tried to tip it toward the goal and breaking it up. Duncan will chase. Here's Duncan, comes in over the line. Can't get off his shot, played it on the wing, and then moved it along the back wall in the Badger zone. Wisconsin, 14 seconds remaining on their 8th power play of the night. And it's going to go back, and here comes Oshie in over the line. Oshie with a shot, ripped it wide of the goal. Duncan came over to help out, and North Dakota doesn't allow Wisconsin to score on the power play. Street lost his stick. Badgers will turn, and they play it away. The stick in the corner on the far side. Street hustles off the ice. Johnson will play it back down in the corner. Lamoureux there. Trade played it past Engel. It comes around on the far boards and rolls the length of the ice back into Wisconsin zone, and will have an icing against the Sioux.
Well, if you're Mike Eaves, you're going to have to let your horses go a little bit more and have maybe your defenseman pitch more in the offensive forechecking area. Again, I think the problem we have forechecking is our gaps between our forwards 1, 2, and 3 is just too big. That's allowing North Dakota to go maybe D to D around the net and get a clean breakout. See the third. Easy save for Lamoureux. Just uses his paddle, puts it down, and covers up. And that's simple stuff, but period stats are 15 goals for Wisconsin. 15 goals for Wisconsin, only 4 for opponents. Hopefully that holds true.
Along the boards on the near side, coming over to pick it up as Jeffrey on down deep in the zone. Coming over to try and control it. The Badgers, Johnson at the point, held in by the Sioux. Badgers were averaging 4.5 goals per game. North Dakota moves it in, and a shot saved by Conley.
Good play there. Senior defenseman David Drusky not overcommitting to one person or the other. Took the passing lane away, though. As I think that was Miller, or no, excuse me, Fratton. Fratton did the right thing. You see right there, he's got his guy back door. Give Patty Johnson credit coming down, but because number 4 doesn't move, that doesn't allow that easy backdoor play. So Fratton's got to put it on net. Shooter, goaltender. Right there, Shane Conley wins that battle.
25-14 in shots in the game. North Dakota with a 3-0 lead. 3 different players have scored tonight. Vandevelde, Oshie, along with Kozik have all scored goals. And there's a offside call and stopping the play with 17:39 remaining. Face-off will come at center ice. Badgers going to change up. McBain defensively paired with McDonough. The forward line has Bendixson along with Grotting and Davies. On the wing near boards, North Dakota will play at center ice. McDonough with it there to Davies, who tipped it in over the line. Bendixson trying to chase Finley, who backhands it, but McDonough will hold the zone. Tried to play it to Davies, working to the net. Finley back in the corner. Finley with it, lifts it up the glass, and it bounces free. Both teams at full strength with 17 minutes remaining here in the third period. Play stopped. Advancement of the puck with the hand, and we'll have another face-off coming up.
Good hit there by Ben Grotting. Again, that's his style. He's got to play that way. He's found his way into the lineup because of that. He's got to be physical. Hey, not too many players hail from Alabama. talked to him before a Friday, morning skate, and I just asked, did you have to go far away to play your games? He said every time, we're going a couple hours each way just to play, 1 or 2 games out there.
You gotta love the sport to do that, don't you?
Parents gotta love it.
Yeah, the Badgers do have some other forwards they could bring in to the lineup and have already this year. That's Zach Pearson along with Bombach and Gurowski. They've all played games so far this season. Play along the boards on the far side. Blubertans on the break to center ice to Street. Shot in on Lamoureux, and he stops the play.
And that's kind of a microcosm of how the game is. The Badgers trying to transition, and yet we can only muster a shot from the blue line. Base is too big. You got to have guys working together. North Dakotans are nowhere to be found.
And the play along the boards. And coming in over the line, here's Kozik. This time it's swept off his stick as he tried to put a move on one of the Badgers. And Wisconsin will fire it to the center ice area. On the play, Johnson and Engel trying to set it up, but it's turned back. Here comes the Sioux. Shot. Yeah, rang it off the pipe. Trupp there with the drive. Coming back the other way, here's Johnson. Johnson with a shot. Around the boards, Golubov looking to hold the zone, but it's going to bounce all the way back down to the Badger zone. 15:46 remaining in the third period. Jeffrey on with it. Trying to go to the stick to Ford on the drive. Shot right on.
Lamoureux seems they not only have their forwards, but then they jump their defense up, and that's the one that we've missed. Michigan Tech, our defense were getting up in the play. Right now, our defense
with the save. The rebound to Zajac, who played it to Malone. It was checked by Dolan. McBain circles at center ice. Played it in on the near boards. Sioux and Wisconsin at full strength. Back on the turn. Here's Fratton in over the line. Shot off the back wall. Play comes to the near wing. Sioux will set it up, trying to go to the point on the pass. Turned away by Wisconsin. Chasing it. Mitchell in the corner along with Dolan, playing against Finley. And the Sioux work it to center ice. Get it out of their zone rather quickly there. This is Dolan in the neutral zone. Will fire it back. 14:50 remaining third period. Still 3-0 Sioux here. Bratton Rinkwad on the pass. Comes to the line of Wisconsin. That's broken up by Smith. Intercepted by Chorney. And the assistant captain plays it back in the Badger zone. Bendixson gets the break. Badgers try to carry it through. Browning works in the corner on the left wing, trying to take it away from Jones. Wisconsin trying to skate it down. 14:20 remaining in the period. Badgers work the near boards. Davies alone in front of the net. And a check thrown along the boards. Wisconsin trying to work it loose. They let him play. It comes back to Bendixson. Bendixson centered the puck. Nobody in the slot. Cleared by Kipe. And it slides down to the Badger zone, and chasing it is Genoway. We're back. 3-0 North Dakota.
Freshness and savings at Piggly Wiggly. Produce that's pampered to perfection by Piggly Wiggly produce experts. A wide variety of the highest quality deli meats sliced to your order by our deli specialists. And the freshest, juiciest cuts of certified Angus beef, the best beef you can buy, right here at Piggly Wiggly, and exactly the way you request it. Freshness, savings, and friendly service when you shop the pig.
Piggly Wiggly, shop the pig.
We're back in Madison along with Rob Endringa, Paul Brown. It's the Sioux leading in the game 3-0 here in the third period. Badgers unable to generate and get anything going against North Dakota here tonight. Face off. Street is out now along with Potts, Turnbull, and Turris. Oshie with it, played it out towards center ice to Vandevelde. He turned back by Turris on the break. Street comes in over the line, plays it in the corner. Turnbull tried to tie up his man. Street with a drive. Rebound is clear. Wisconsin. Golubov back in behind the Badger net. North Dakota with pressure. It's Oshie, Duncan, and Vandevelde. They're all in the Badger zone. And trying to pick it up, Street with it. Wisconsin having a little trouble here getting organized to break it out of the zone.
Again, the defenseman got to make decisions either quicker or get those feet moving up ice.
And the Badgers will ice the puck, and that'll draw the face-off in the zone of Wisconsin.
You know, forwards got to read off of that. If you got a defenseman who's coming up one side, what we have to do is fill lanes. And sometimes you have to fill lanes. It's not just going north and south, but cutting east-west. And if somebody's coming into your lane, PB, guess what you got to do? You got to somehow find a way to get in his lane. Can't have two guys standing next to each other, but that's what the Badgers have had happening here tonight.
And around the far side, Johnson out with his line mates for the Badgers. That's Jeffrion and Engel. Going back down in the corner is McBain to control the play. On the pass to Johnson, who tried to tip it out of the zone. North Dakota, they got Miller in the zone on their forecheck. Taken away by LaPointe. Back to Miller, who will drive it in the Badger zone. Conley fires it off plexiglass, trying to get it out. And North Dakota holds it in. LaPointe with a drive in traffic. Wisconsin trying to get it out with Johnson, who was tied up, and LaPointe will hold it deep in the zone.
That's a good point, though. Nobody there to came and support Johnson and give him a passing angle. Easy for North Dakota to hold the line then.
Sioux have won 4 games on the year. With a win tonight, they'd be 5-3-1. The Badgers would be 5-3.
No.
And in front, shot by Malone as the Badgers turn it over in their own zone. Moving it up ice. Here's a potential break. Ford moving it in. Tried to get off a shot. Broading couldn't pick up the follow. North Dakota turns, and they got a potential 2-on-1 coming the other way. They tried to lead Zajac. The centering pass went through the crease to the wing. And Wisconsin will turn, and they'll try to move it up ice. Blubertans bumped in front of the Sioux bench. Wisconsin down along the boards to the point on the play. There's Smith with the drive, and the save made. Rebound popped out front to Fratton. Fratton in over the Wisconsin line, trying to go to Malone. Badgers will turn and come back up ice. No penalties here in the third period. And we're down to 11 minutes and 5 seconds remaining. Still 3-0. North Dakota. Watkins in over the line. Comes in off the wing. His shot is blocked in the corner. Badgers will turn and try to clear and come out of the zone. On the break, this is Drewiski. Played it off the stick of Lamoureux, and he made the save. We'll take a break on the Badger Hockey Network. Face-off coming up back in the zone of North Dakota. Turris will try to win the draw for Wisconsin. Puck down. Turris tried to pick it up. He went down, tried to play it ahead. And the Sioux, Vandevelde with it, slides it out of the break to Duncan. Duncan at 5'6", 159-pound junior. Won the Hobey Baker Award last year. Second Sioux player to do that. Tony Herkus was the other. Back in behind, Vandevelde in front of the net. Conley looking for the puck. The Sioux work back in behind the Badger goal. This is Oshie. Oshie in front. Duncan with a shot. And it's banged off the boards. And Wisconsin can't get it out of the zone. Here's Oshie to Duncan with a shot. We got a penalty coming up. And it's going to be power play hockey as North Dakota maintains possession of the puck. They get an extra attacker out on the ice. Comes around on the play. Back over to Finley. His drive is blocked. Bina played it behind the net. To the play. To Bina. Cross ice to Finley. Finley tried to work the wing, and the Badgers get control of the puck. But it's going to be the Sioux on the power play on the cross check.
Yeah, camping. I think it's going to be Cody Golubev who's going to take 2 minutes. And if you want to get a DVD of how to create some offensive chances and control the puck, just take that about 30-second blurb right there in North Dakota, folks. And that's their top line. You can see why. Always had their feet moving, had their head up. Along with that, players talk a lot on the ice. So you got nicknames out there, as I talked about last night. You're yelling for the puck. But what I like is when you have guys that have their head up, not only are you looking at shooting the puck, but Oshie had a play on the point where he had it, picked his head up, realized that probably shooting the puck's not a great idea, slides it over to Finley. Finley whiffed on the shot, but again, pick your head up, makes the game so much easier.
Face off now for the Sioux in the Badger zone with the power play. And a 3-0 lead in the game. St. Cloud won tonight over Michigan Tech 5-2. Minnesota is beating Minnesota State at Mankato 5-3. North Dakota just inside the line. Genoway, there's a drive, save, rebound. Fratton played the wing. Little give and go. And the Sioux with a shot. Conley with a save and a rebound. Still held in. This is Fratton with it. Fratton angled it around the boards. Over to Miller. Badgers, I don't think, Rob, have got the puck out of the zone here.
Not in the last minute and a half, 2 minutes.
As the Sioux will set it up. There's a drive, and that's blocked. And finally, they clear the zone as Jeffrey on block.
That's a good block, too. Genoway had a lot on that one.
8:45 remaining. Badgers blocked about 33 shots last night. Coach said there was a lot of ice bags in the locker room on players after the game. Play along the boards on the near side with 8:30 remaining in the period. Wisconsin finally clears the zone. Time on the power play, 45 seconds. Bina goes cross ice in the play. Duncan backhands it in the corner. Drewski against Vanderbilt. Duncan will hold the wing. Played it behind the net to Oshie. Street backhands it up, and it caromed off the official. Bina will pick that up. On the break to Duncan. Duncan with a nice move, playing it past Jeffrey. Oshie in the blue line of Wisconsin. Vanderbilt. And that shot went off the glass behind the net of Wisconsin.
One thing I've noticed is we're not taking the body. We're doing a lot of stick swinging. That guy's trying to knock the puck away instead of trying to focus on that body and play it.
Duncan goes cross ice in the play. That shot went up against the netting, and we'll kick a break here for you. It's 3-0 North Dakota over the Badgers. Seven minutes and 31 seconds remaining here in the third period of play. North Dakota tonight. Vanderbilt with his third goal of the year. Oshie with his sixth. And also tonight, Kozik with his fifth of the year. And that's where we stand. 2 5-on-5s and 1 power play goal for North Dakota.
And the reason why the break is over the Badger bench, you're, I think, doing a little tape job on Dan Carey. I think it's either his finger or something there. Danny got hit pretty good with that biscuit. See Andy Rohde, the Badger trainer, doing some work. Tell you, those officials, they take a beating down there. You know, I know the fans get on them because they can't rip the puck around the boards. It seems like the officials are always getting in the way. And remember the old days of the Coliseum, they had the real small glass along the sides, so it allowed some of the officials to hang on the glass. I always remember Dickie Haig and Dewey Marcus. Those guys grab it on top and trying to get their skates up. Now the glass, everything's too big, so there's really nowhere to hide. And the game is played around the boards more now.
And Wisconsin in their own zone, and they'll angle it off the boards in the break. Laying it down in behind. Ford is out. What's it like as a player in a game like this, Rob?
Well, you know, if you're North Dakota, this is what you just keep, you know, all lines are turning and going. But from Wisconsin's standpoint, of course, you get frustrated. And so what you have to do is you really got to go and just try to work on the things that you can do and really within a controlled environment. You don't want to get crazy out here. It's really easy to lose control and, you know, like that pass right there, get frustrated. But this is where you got to just kind of settle down and play hard, but play within your style. Don't do anything stupid.
And going back to set it up, McBain. Badgers just haven't been able to get it going here tonight. A lot of that has to do with your opponent. Crowd has been fairly quiet tonight, though they were very loud today at Camp Randall as the Badgers beat the Michigan Wolverines in football. And Ohio State, if you haven't heard, got beat today at home against the Fighting Illini of Illinois.
You know, one thing we know that I've noticed is that every time Kyle Turris is out there, what they're doing is putting Bina and Finley against him.
And they'll play it back down in the corner. That's got to be a tough adjustment for him too, isn't it? He's got to learn to play with it that way. It's going to be that way.
Well, you know, the other thing about it, though, it's not like that's a, you know, in juniors the same thing would happen. It's just, again, different game. You got different line mates, so you got to adjust a little bit more. And now 1-on-3 though.
Coming up ice, controlling it. And he'll make that adjustment because he's a talented player.
You know, it's not like all of a sudden he's going to struggle at this level. He will figure it out. But more importantly, his line mates have to read and react a little bit more to find places to get open for him, because he's the type of player that creates off of his vision and his creativity.
Down to 5 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. Whistle and play will be stopped. Both teams full strength. 1 penalty in the period. That against Wisconsin. As we take a look at third period goals.
Yeah. Badgers 5 wins, 15 goals, and the 2 losses, 0. And it looks like right now with 5:27 left, Badgers are going to get their 3rd loss of the season, and another game where they don't score in the 3rd.
Laid back in behind Lamoureux. Around the wing. Chorney with it, turning, trying to bring it out. It's going to be played by Duncan. And jumping into the play was Vandevelde, but Duncan took the drive. Vandevelde back out on top. North Dakota trying to lead it to Oshie, and Duncan behind the net. And coming over to pick it up and control. Johnson was checked, and down he goes. Little Patrick taking the hit there. Slapping his stick on the ice. Wants the puck, gets it, comes in over the line. They'll play it deep in the zone. Wisconsin had Bendixson in front of the net. Turned away by the Sioux. Rotting tried to hold the zone, but it's driven down to the corner. Picking it up is Miller. Miller tried to center it in front, and a collision with Conley. And play continues. Got a Sioux player in the goal crease there. That was Kozak. Down to 4:20 remaining in the 3rd. Wisconsin won last night 4-3. And tonight it's North Dakota 3-0 here.
Yeah, North Dakota talking to Dave Hakstol and his assistant coaches Dane Jackson and Kerry Eaves. You know, they thought they played very well last night. Biggest disappointment about last night was they never really hit the net on quality scoring chances.
Yeah, they really did miss.
They tried to go upstairs, and they seemed like they hit every plexiglass behind the net. Get a look there of Dane Jackson on the right and Hakstol in the middle there. Dane Jackson played in the early 90s and along with Dave, and okay, they got a great staff too. That's, you know, one of these things. Both programs staffs are excellent. They know the game.
In front's going to be cleared by Finley. Finley on the break, played it to the tape, and stick of Fratton tried to stick handle past McDonough. And Finley doing a little high sticking and jamming there, and then Fratton came in. We'll take a break. They'll sort it out, and we'll be back. It's 3-0 Sioux. And a couple of guys have gone to the penalty box. Grotting and Finley are having a discussion over there.
You know, the old days, again, back at the Coliseum, they used to have one penalty box in the early 70s, and it was always fun to see how that would handle. They always had one policeman. But Finley, big, tough kid, probably is going to have a great chance of playing at the next level because of his size, but he's also developed a game where he can make quality breakout passes. You see right here, right? He'll take any comers. You bring it on. Very similar to Jim
But at
Archibald.
the next level, there'll be some guys his size, too.
Bugard from the Wild in Minnesota. He's 6'7" with about 250 on him. He'll line up. He'll line up at his front door and ding-dong him.
And coming up ice here, Smith coming in over the line. Woo, got a pretty good drive away there. Play along the boards on the near side. Last night, Connolly shut out North Dakota. Tonight, Lamoureux on the verge of picking up his 5th of the year. I believe it if he would get it here tonight.
That should be a charge right there.
And they called it. Bob was right. And then there's a check from behind. Look out. This one could get loose. And we've got a little action going on here. Turris is in on it, along with Zach Jones. Jones and Turris.
Hit him. Go ahead. We're out of it then.
And coming over to help out. They got him paired off here, 2 against 1. And Podge Turnbull took somebody down. And the officials trying to get between them.
That's Five's got to go. Five's got to go. He can't go back in.
And we've got Kipe being escorted to the penalty box.
Guys, all it takes is for one punch to get you tossed, and then you're sitting the next game as well. Again, Kipe was the guy who was going to get the original penalty for charging, and then after that, guys went after each other. Again, this is probably a good lesson for Wisconsin, because if you're going to play at the level that North Dakota's playing at, you got to add a little nastiness to your program. And the Badgers didn't have that tonight at all.
And we'll get a look at how this may have gotten started here.
Yep. Got his head down right there. Going to follow through. They're going to get the charge on that. So you always got to have your head up.
And they're trying to sort it out, and there's some discussion going on by the penalty box area too.
Well, I tell you, they went after Kyle. Kyle Turris took a hack at Watkins, I believe, then Watkins went after him.
Street is into it verbally, so is Klubertans.
Well, this will be interesting. I think all the boys are going to go to the gate. Well, we're going to throw some guys out. Again, it'll be interesting to see who gets tossed, not only for this game, if it's a game misconduct or a game DQ.
Well, late in the periods of all three, Kipe is going to go.
Yeah, he's going to get the original.
As he will leave the ice. And also going is Jones and LaPointe.
Well, all the Badgers are going to go too. It's not like it's...
Sure. They might be calling double minors on him, for an example, in which there's less than 4 minutes remaining.
I think they're going to call more than that. I think they're just getting everybody out of here.
So they're escorting off 5 Sioux players.
All 5 and all 5.
And we'll see the parade, I think, for the Badgers going the same way here.
Yep.
Down to 3 minutes and 8 seconds remaining. Yep. Turris is going to go. Klubertans is going to go.
I think that's the right
going.
call by the officials.
Smith is going, and so is Turnbull. They're all leaving the ice.
That is a first. Now, all these guys can't be kicked out for the DQ, but they could be kicked out, of course, for the game misconduct, which I would think that might be the call. Definitely lightens the load on the benches and the players' benches, you know.
Well, and what you've also done is taken everybody who is involved in that away from the game situation here, because they will exchange the handshake hopefully at the end of the game. And
well, hockey, you know, there's always some bad blood here or there, but one thing that's usually pretty good is you know, those good sportsmen. You're going to see
once
right
it's
there.
over.
Yeah. That's the one thing right there. As you watch Turris, you know, if you're going to get jabbed a couple times, you know, you're a marked man already. This is where you see Smith. He's trying to get me out of here. And what happens is guys will grab. They don't want to drop gloves. You get your jersey kind of wrapped up. Kind of tough to see. 5-on-5 here, though, folks. Actually, no, it's going to be 5-on-4 because Kipe.
Yeah, they gave him a 2-minute. You know what? There was a time when we had a little action between these two teams about 25 years ago. You remember that, Ron?
Oh, sure.
Involving both benches. This was at the Dane County Coliseum.
And there's guys way in the back. You can see the right. That's where the beer garden is. You can see some of the fans have kind of spilled out. They're drinking beer.
3 minutes and 3 seconds remaining here. Power play for Wisconsin. 2:55 remaining here. Around the boards, it comes back to the point on the play. Wisconsin still shut out.
Wow.
Shot. Oh, nice save by Lamoureux. 10-minute misconducts in 2 minutes. Comes around over to Golubev. Golubev around to the far board. So they may have given him Rob the 2 and 10.
Yeah.
And around the boards on the far side. 2:25 remaining here. And it's controlled by McBain. Shot to goal! Ford in front. I don't know if he tipped it. But it's the Badgers on the board.
Well, you know what, folks? You still got time if somehow you get another one. Can you think, oh, you know what, game's over, it's 3-0, you get players kicked out. Well, all of a sudden it depends on who gets kicked out. Get a power play goal off of that, break the shutout of Lamoureux.
And you got some Badgers that were asked to leave the ice down by the gate who are coming back here to watch the play.
But again, a hard shot by Jamie McBain. I'm not sure if Patrick Johnson's going to tip it in or not, but Badgers still got a little life left.
3-1 the score with 2:15 remaining here. Around the boards on the far side. Wisconsin with a drive. It's going to be blocked. And North Dakota will turn and they'll come up ice. They'll play it back down in the corner. Down to 1:58 remaining. Ford did tip it in front. Back come the Badgers. And Engel trying to work it in over the line. Golubev picked up 1 assist. And Wisconsin is on the board here. Trying to move it in. Cross ice, chipped away. Down to 1:35 remaining. Let's see if the Badgers will pull their goaltender here. Going back, trying to control. North Dakota coming up ice. 3-1 score. Driven back in behind. McDonough with it around the boards and the play over to Johnson. Johnson in the corner. Jammed up there. 1:13 remaining. Johnson trying to work it loose. Play is going to be stopped.
That's a good play by Ryan Duncan there. As you see, the Badger players got zinged. They love to be out there. Again, 3 freshmen. Good lesson that some of these young boys are getting this weekend, but especially tonight. That's the level you have to play at, not only from a aggressiveness and a game, but just nastiness. You got to be tougher.
Coming up ice, controlling it with 1 minute remaining in regulation time. Badgers try to get something going here. As North Dakota comes back, and they'll play it in the corner. McDonough back over to try and pick it up. 45 seconds remaining. Here's Jeffrion. Will work it around the Badger zone, trying to play it up the far boards. Back comes Johnson. Johnson cross ice on the play. 30 seconds remaining. Drive in on Lamoureux. Steered away from in front of the net. 23 seconds remaining. As Wisconsin works behind the net. Bendixson around the boards. And over to try and set it up. Bendixson, little give and go. In front. Backhanded to the point. Gruiski with a drive, and it's blocked. Lifted high in the air. North Dakota is going to win the game over the Badgers by a score of 3-1. Your thoughts on the contest here?
Well, North Dakota deserved to win this game. Probably deserved to win last night, but the Badgers catch a break with Shane Conley and a couple of timely goals. But North Dakota, clearly the best team we've seen early in the season. And I tell you, they can play at a high level. Good lesson, though, for the Badgers, PB. This is a good opportunity to realize that if we want to be good at the end, we've got to pick up our game a little bit.
And Lamoureux with the nice effort here tonight.
I thought he was actually, you know what he did? He controlled his rebounds better. You can see the coaches not too happy with each other.
There's Mike Eaves, and he's doing a little discussion there. And Hakstol shaking his head.
Well, you know, it's 2 proud guys, 2 captains once they played at their alma maters. And you know what? Hey, they both love their program. Both are very, very good competitors. And so, again, it's give credit to North Dakota, PB. They were just very, very good.
Our next game that's coming up here will be on November 30th on FSN North, and that will be against the Huskies of St. Cloud State. Production of the Badger Hockey Network. For Rob Andringa, I'm Paul Brown, bidding you good night from the Kohl Center, where the Badgers lose to North Dakota tonight by a score of 3-1. Thanks for joining us. Have a pleasant Thanksgiving.